Well, hello, and welcome to our bedroom. Hi, Mr. Davis.
Hello, Mrs. Davis.
Isn't he a delight? Well, a lot of people have been writing in on the www asking about our relationship. How long we've been together and how we met and stuff like that there. So, why don't we spill the beans and talk a little bit about what it's like to keep our marriage alive. Mr. Davis?
Sure, yeah.
Tell us a little bit, bring us back to the first time you cast your eyes on this lovely, delicate flower you see here lying before your eyes.
Oh, that was, 15 years ago almost, right?
15 years, kids.
Yeah. We met on the www.
Yes, it was gay.com. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's called Grindr for old people.
He stood me up on our first date.
Well, it was not exactly standing up. I was busy. I had work. I couldn't get off.
Yeah.
I like a bad joke. But our first date, he just swept me right off my feet. He brought me over a coffee, and you were just my darling Prince Charming.
Aww.
Yes. So we have had 2 weddings. One was just, because we thought that Jesus and the rest of all of the Holy Spirits would just bless us because the government wouldn't. And
the fake one.
But it was the real one.
Real. Well, that's the one we count.
Yeah. And then we had another one that we can put on paper.
Yeah, we followed up with the paperwork 6 years later.
Yeah.
And that was 4 years ago.
4 years. Married bliss. And I say, when people ask me, how do you keep the marriage alive? And I answer, quite frankly, blowjobs. I mean...
it doesn't hurt.
It's right? I mean, who says no to a blowjob? I mean, and the thing of it is, if you really want to keep your marriage alive, what you've got to do is do different locations. Same blowjob, different locations. Because
feels different on the steps.
That's a little true. And so then you spice it up. And then, if your neighbors are kind of nosy and they might be peeking in, I mean, you could take a risk. They could be talking you through the window and you could be right down there, getting at it.
Dating a drag queen is just like dating a real woman, except you have a much more fabulous closet.
Oh, well, that's not so nice to all the real ladies out there. You might want to jazz it up, kids. But truly, I think it is something to be said for you and all those other guys out there who let their spouse or their partner be themselves. And that's really what it's all about, supporting each other's dreams.
And that's what I love about you. That's why I married you. You should be yourself.
Well, it's so sweet. And the other thing is that I know that with regard to drag, it's very important to hand over all of my tips to Mr. Davis.
I invest them wisely.
He does. In stocks and bonds and shit like that there. And I buy lots of drag on the internet and other places, retail stores, because I'm a retail queen. That's right. International celebrity housewife. You don't go to bed mad. You always kiss each other goodnight. Good night. And always really just make sure you say you love you. I love you every day before you're off to your days because,
Yeah, and I think as a drag husband, supporting your drag wife is tantamount to a relationship. You got to be a part of this whole thing, and you might as well go for the ride, right?
Yeah. And what we can also do, I have a tagline, there's always time for a cocktail. I've been changing it to there's always time for a cock. And if for the G-rated versions, because of this video, we could say there's always time for a blowjob. The advice I would give for a young married couple on keeping your marriage alive and healthy and happy is porn. It's free on the www. Look it up. And if your spouse catches you, the more the merrier.
I think we handle domestic squabbles like anyone else. It really all comes down to communication. and sometimes it might be a day later, but we talk about it, and then I just do what she says. I don't think we argue very often at all, and honestly, we've had a couple of big fights, and it tears me up inside. I don't like when she's mad at me. I don't like certainly to be mad at her. So it's just any way we can work it out, we talk about it.
How in the hell could you be mad at Mr. Davis? I mean, you're just a loser if you're mad at him. I mean, he's just one of the nicest people ever. Which sucks! It's difficult for a bitch like me to have this nice guy always to my left. I love you very much.
I think as a drag husband, you really have to be comfortable in your relationship because, let's face it, she's out at clubs and there's guys sometimes all over her. And, you know, at the end of the day, she comes home with me and I know that in her heart, I'm the only person for her. So I don't get jealous with that. And when she's on the road, I thought when she first started traveling after Drag Race that I would be excited to have the whole house to myself, and I was excited for about the first hour, and then it got really boring around here. It's just not exciting without her.
Oh, you're so sweet.